What's up guys, today's video is all about the most famous cryptid to ever exist, Bigfoot. We have so much video evidence in today's video, from strange structures in the woods to clear trail cam footage of Bigfoot himself. But as always guys, let me know which one of these you think is genuine and which one of these, if any, do you think is fake. I think the majority of these videos are pretty real and pretty scary. Hit that like button right now, subscribe for more videos coming soon. The next video is going to be all about extinct animals like dinosaurs and griffins caught on camera. So with all that being said guys, hope you enjoy the video. Let's get it.
This footage, released on August 28th, 2025, has quickly gained attention online for how clear it is. According to the uploader, a man named Jeff was driving through a forested area on a slightly foggy day when something unusually large moving through the trees caught his eye. He slowed down and began recording as he passed it. Whoa. In the video, a massive upright figure can be seen walking through the forest. It doesn't react to the passing vehicle and continues forward as if unaware or unconcerned. What stands out most to viewers is its apparent size. The figure looks extremely tall and broad, with a muscular build. Its body is covered in thick brown fur that lies close to the body rather than hanging loosely off it. When the footage is slowed down, some viewers claim they can see muscle definition in the shoulders, its back, and its legs, giving it what's described as a lifelike appearance. Skeptics believe it could be a person in a highly detailed costume. However, skeptics argue that replicating its size and muscles convincingly, especially its natural movement, would be incredibly difficult and expensive. Based on nearby trees and terrain, some analysts estimate its height to be at least 8 feet tall. In one moment, the camera briefly captures its face. The eyes appear dark and somewhat recessed, and the hair seems slightly longer around the top of its head, gradually shortening as it moves down its body. For many viewers, the detail and clarity make this one of the more compelling recent clips. Whether it's an elaborate hoax or something genuinely unknown, it certainly reignited discussion about what might be lurking deep within the wilderness. This new Bigfoot related clip surfaced from Oregon and was posted on April 14th, 2025. A husband and wife were walking along a trail they frequently visit when they came across something they say they had never seen before.
Just randomly in the middle of the forest, in the middle of nowhere. It's crazy. Like, where did this come from? Let me show you around. Okay, so we can't figure out where this came from. And I don't want somebody's lame ass reasoning for this because there honestly isn't one. That's crazy.
In the footage shared by the wife, Stephanie, a large tree trunk can be seen embedded upright in the ground. It isn't leaning against anything. It isn't partially fallen. It appears firmly wedged straight down into the soil. Stephanie explains that the area is familiar with them and that this structure hadn't been there on previous hikes. She also pans the camera around to show the surrounding trees, pointing out that while there are large trees around, they couldn't find any visible breakage or stump that would clearly indicate where the log came from. The video quickly went viral, with many viewers suggesting the tree had been placed there deliberately. Some referenced common Bigfoot lore, which often describe large primates capable of lifting and throwing heavy logs with force. Supporters argue that the tree looks driven into the ground with enough power that it seems unlikely to have simply fallen that way. Stephanie later posted a follow-up video, revisiting the site and showing the area more clearly.
We went somewhere that we go quite a bit. We saw that big tree in the middle of the road that we've never seen before. At this point, no theory is wrong because we just don't know what happened, except we don't have tornadoes where we live. If it is a Bigfoot or something, we don't want anyone to harm it or disturb it, so I'm not going to disclose where we found it.
She said she wouldn't disclose the exact location to avoid disturbing the area, especially if wildlife or something else inhabits it. Of course, alternative explanations were also offered. Some viewers suggested storm damage or lightning strikes that could have caused the log to break and land in that position. Others mentioned the possibility of human activity. Still, many question how the tree could land so vertically and remain lodged so securely without visible surrounding damage.
I'm gonna look up because everyone kept saying, look up, the sky's up, there are no trees, that are broken. Turning, turning, turning. Sky, nothing.
The couple continued to revisit the location and post occasional updates, but so far, no creature has been spotted near the unusual tree. For now, it remains another unexplained forest discovery, open to interpretation. This next clip is often described as some of the clearest trail cam footage of Bigfoot ever recorded. A hunting camera had been placed deep in the Canadian wilderness, aimed at a hunting blind. The goal was simple: capture deer, elk, or other wildlife roaming in the area. Instead, when the hunter reviewed the footage, he saw something far larger. A massive, upright figure appears near the blind. It doesn't just walk past, it reacts. The creature begins breaking branches around it. At one point, it appears to grab and throw branches toward the camera. The movement looks forceful, as the branches look extremely heavy. After several seconds, it slowly turns and walks back into the forest. Supporters of the footage believe the creature might have been angered by the presence of the hunting blind in what they claim to be its territory. They argue that its behavior suggests anger and irritation rather than random wandering. The video quality is relatively clear compared to other alleged sightings, which makes it harder to dismiss outright. Skeptics suggest it could still be a person in a costume. However, believers point to the proportions and size of the figure, estimating it to be standing at about 8 feet tall and being noticeably broader than the average human. They also point out the strength displayed while snapping and throwing branches as evidence this is not a human. Those branches are far too heavy for an average human to just throw like that. As with most Bigfoot footage, opinions remain divided. So where do you stand? Elaborate hoax? Misidentification? Or is this a genuine footage of Bigfoot? A new Bigfoot video has recently gone viral, and many are calling it the clearest evidence ever captured, if it's genuine. The footage was reportedly recorded from a low-mounted trail camera deep in the forest. When the camera activates, a large, upright figure slowly walks past the lens at close range. The image quality is noticeably clearer than most sightings. The creature appears massive, broad-shouldered, and covered in dark hair. It moves calmly and steadily through the frame, giving viewers enough time to examine its proportions. Supporters claim there's no obvious sign of costume seams or exaggerated movement. The figure's stride looks natural, and its size compared to nearby trees suggests a size estimate of around 8 to 9 feet tall. One detail that's drawn particular attention is the hands. In the footage, they appear largely hairless, resembling human hands rather than fully fur-covered paws. Interestingly, some Bigfoot witnesses over the years have reported the same thing, claiming less fur on the hands and the face, somewhat comparable to great apes. However, skeptics remain cautious. With advancements in AI and digital rendering, some believe the video could have been generated. The lighting, clarity, and lack of camera distortion have led critics to question whether it's too perfect. The uploader insists the footage is authentic and unaltered, stating that no editing or digital manipulation was involved. As with most viral cryptid clips, the debate is intense. Is this a genuine Sasquatch caught on camera, a well-crafted hoax, or an example of advanced AI technology? Where do you stand? This Bigfoot-related encounter was posted on July 4th, 2025. According to the uploader, a member of an investigation crew spent time alone in a remote wilderness area in the Canadian Rockies. The site reportedly had history tied to a native band that once used the site for end-of-life spiritual ceremonies before abandoning it under unclear circumstances. The crew decided to document the location and stayed there for 4 days and nights. They filmed their setup, monitored the surroundings, and captured various normal wildlife activity. For most of the trip, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Despite the site's reputation, that changed on the final night. A Around 12:30 a.m., large growls echoed through the forest. The sounds were deep and resonant, described as primal and unusually low in tone. While Canada is home to large predators like bears, the investigator noted that these noises didn't match typical bear vocalizations. He described them as more primate-like in quality. In addition to the growls, distinct wood knocking can also be heard, a sound often associated in Bigfoot lore with territorial communication. The investigator, clearly shaken, stated that the combination of roars and knocking was enough for him to conclude that there was something unusual in that forest. He packed up camp shortly after and left. Whether the sounds were misidentified wildlife, echo distortion in the mountainous terrain, or something else entirely remains open for debate. But for believers, this adds yet another alleged encounter to the long list of reports coming out of the Canadian wilderness. This recent cryptid sighting comes from southeastern Oklahoma and was reportedly filmed around the Talamania State Park area. According to the couple who recorded it, Jose and Tanya, they were camping when they reportedly started hearing heavy movement in the woods nearby. The sounds were loud and deliberate, as if a large animal were moving through the trees. Concerned, they got up to investigate. The recorded reactions have since been translated from Spanish to English using AI, so the voices heard are not their originals. Viewers who understand Spanish say the original voiceover carries more fear and panic than the AI versions can translate.
There they are, there they are, there they are. They're going this way. Tanya, you recorded them. There they are, look at them. There they are, there they are. Which way, Tanya, you recorded them.
In the footage, two large humanoid creatures can be seen walking through the forest at night. Both appear unusually tall, with glowing eyes visible in the darkness. They move quickly and smoothly, especially considering their apparent size. The figure in front appears lighter in color, while the one behind looks darker, but both share a similar build. Broad shoulders, long limbs, and an upright posture. Cryptid researchers quickly connected the creatures to the Boggy Creek Monster, a Bigfoot-like creature deeply rooted in Oklahoma and Arkansas folklore. Traditionally, the Boggy Creek Monster is described as standing between 7 and 10 feet tall, weighing anywhere from 300 to 500 pounds, and covered in long dark hair. Witnesses over the years have also reported glowing red and yellow eyes, a detail that stands out in this new footage. Some enthusiasts believe that such sightings represent a regional variation of Bigfoot, adapted to the woody and swampy areas of the region. Whether the figures in this clip were undiscovered wildlife, people in elaborate costumes, lighting artifacts, or something more mysterious, the footage has sparked intense debate. The shapes appear large and fluid in movement, and for many viewers they look disturbingly lifelike. What exactly Jose and Tanya captured in the woods that night remains up for interpretation. A hiker was out on a routine trek when he claims he came across something he never expected. An experienced outdoorsman. He says he's encountered injured animals, carcasses, and strange sights before, but according to him, nothing compared to what he found that day. He documented it on his phone.
Where was that? Jesus.
In the footage, what appears to be a small, humanoid figure lies on the ground. The hiker believes it could be a juvenile Sasquatch. The body looks disturbingly detailed. The face appears partially decomposed, yet still defined enough to make out features. The torso looks swollen and veiny, with noticeably less fur across the stomach area. The limbs appear long and slender, proportioned differently than most known wildlife. Viewers who've seen the footage are divided. Some argue that the anatomical detail is too intricate to be a hoax. They claim the texture, proportions, and apparent detail would be extremely difficult and expensive to fake convincingly. Others suggest it could be a highly detailed prop, possibly created for a hoax or an art project. There is no confirmed information on whether or not authorities were contacted, or if any investigation at all took place. As of now, there's no public records verifying the discovery. Without independent testing or verification, the footage remains unconfirmed. This dramatic Bigfoot encounter began circulating on September September 15th, 2024. According to the description, two men were deep in the woods actively searching for evidence of Bigfoot. One carried a rifle for protection, while the other filmed the expedition. After spending time exploring the area, they claimed to have encountered what they believe was the creature they were after. The footage shows them moving closer, apparently attempting to document it at close range.
Rick, I'm going back to the camp!
At one point, a gunshot could be heard. The man with the rifle says he fired because he felt threatened. However, rather than scaring the creature away, the shot appears to escalate the situation. The caption accompanying the video states, "This is what happens when you shoot at Bigfoot." The camera shakes violently as chaos erupts. As you see in the footage, the creature charges at them. In the confusion, the camera captures briefly what looks like a close-up of a large, hairy face as it moves into frame. The creature appears detailed under the flashlight beam, visible bone structure, a defined mouth, and eyes that some viewers describe as human-like. Other portions of the footage show a tall figure moving through the trees, illuminated just enough by the flashlight to indicate the size and shape. Despite the alleged attack, the two men survived and uploaded the footage. As with most viral cryptid encounters, reactions are split. Some viewers believe the facial detail and movement look convincing, while others suggest costume work, staged acting, or AI. Whether it was an authentic encounter, a carefully planned hoax, or something else entirely, the video continues to spark debate. This Bigfoot footage was reportedly recorded on January 14th, 2025. A young woman was in the woods filming content for her Instagram and TikTok, something she says she does regularly. Casual outdoor clips and photos for her page. While recording herself, something appears behind her.
Oh gosh, it's cold. The camera stand won't stay. Nope, nope, nope.
From behind the trees, a dark, Bigfoot-like creature steps into view. It leans forward, almost as if it's observing her closely. For a brief moment, it seems to peer in her direction. Then it quickly turns and retreats back into the wilderness. It's only after this movement that the woman realizes that something's behind her. She reacts suddenly, grabbing her phone and running away from the area. The figure appears covered in dark fur. Unlike many traditional Bigfoot descriptions, it doesn't seem exceptionally tall. Some viewers suggest it could be a juvenile Sasquatch due to its size and build. Others are far more skeptical. Several viewers believe it looks like someone in a costume, possibly staged for attention. They argue that the proportions and movement resemble someone wearing a suit. Supporters, however, point out that this type of content is unusual for her page. She had never posted anything paranormal or hoax related ever before, which leads some to believe the encounter may have been genuine. As always, opinions are split. Is it an elaborate prank, a well-made costume, or something unexplained caught by accident? What do you think?
This HD trail camera footage has been circulated widely online, with many claiming it could be some of the strongest evidence of Bigfoot to date. According to the caption, a man hiking near Crescent Falls, Alberta, Canada, discovered what appears to be a strange makeshift shelter in the forest. The structure was built by fallen trees and branches arranged in a deliberate way, which he found unusual enough to investigate further. Curious about what might be used in this structure, he strapped a live recording trail camera onto a nearby tree and aimed it directly at the shelter. He returned the following day to retrieve the device and review the footage. What he claims to have captured is startling. The camera records a massive, upright, hairy creature
standing by the shelter. The uploader refers to the creature as the Kiwatin, a name he says locals use, translating roughly to forest beast. It's described as a relative to the Sasquatch or Bigfoot. The footage reportedly shows the figure multiple times, first at night, standing near the shelter, and then again during daytime hours. In each appearance, the creature seems unaware of the camera. In the clearer daytime clips, the figure appears significantly taller than the shelter itself. Viewers estimate its height at roughly 8 to 9 feet tall. It appears broad-shouldered, wide-framed, and features what some describe as a dome-shaped head, traits often associated with traditional Bigfoot sightings. Supporters argue that the scale, proportions, and movement look too natural to be a human in a costume. Skeptics point to perspective distortion, camera placement, and the possibility of staged footage. Whether authentic wildlife, elaborate hoax, or something still unexplained, the video has reignited debate about what might be living in the forests in Western Canada.
Another piece of controversial alleged Sasquatch evidence circulating online. This Bigfoot footage may not be recent, but it's considered one of the most compelling pieces of footage ever recorded. The video was filmed by Paul Freeman, an outdoorsman who was hiking alone when the encounter occurred. He had brought along a relatively new camera, intending to capture scenic footage of the forest. While walking along the trail, he noticed something ahead that didn't look right. Standing near the path was a large, upright figure. He quickly raised his camera and began recording.
I hear the brush popping and stuff. Oh, there he goes. Jesus.
In the footage, a tall, hair-covered figure can be seen walking across the trail. At one point, it appears to notice Paul and briefly turns his head toward him before carrying on. When the video is slowed down and examined closely, several details stand out. The creature's stride is unusually long, covering significant ground with each stride. Its movement appears fluid and confident. Some viewers compare the gait to a mix between human and primate, upright like a person, but with a heavier, swinging motion. Supporters of the footage often point to the scale. By comparing the figure to nearby trees, they argue that the creature appears exceptionally tall. It also appears to have broad shoulders and a rounded, dome-like head, features commonly associated with Bigfoot descriptions. The video has circulated for many years and continues to be discussed. While skeptics suggest the possibility of a costume or staged event, many enthusiasts argue that it's never been fully debunked. Whether it was an unknown creature, a hoax, or something in between, Paul Freeman's footage remains one of the most debated Bigfoot videos ever recorded. This clip, posted on January 22nd, 2025, features a man from Alaska who believes something unusual crossed through his property.
Hey, does anybody know what this is? I'm from Alaska. I've never seen anything like this before. To let my chickens out and stuff, and I see these big prints. This is me walking. Takes 4 steps to make one of those. Pretty interesting, I don't know.
In the video, he walks behind his home and shows a line of footprints in the snow. The tracks form a clear path, spaced unusually far apart. He measures the distance between several of them, and finds that some strides measure 7 to 8 feet from one footprint to the other. Because of the spacing, he believes that whatever made them was sprinting, or naturally capable of extremely long strides. The pattern appears bipedal, with prints alternating left and right, rather than forming a 4-legged gait. Looking closer at the impressions themselves, the prints resemble human feet in overall shape, but they appear longer and slightly wider. In some of the tracks, the toe area looks unusual or distorted. For comparison, he places his own boot near the prints, showing that they're significantly larger than his footwear. Some argue that the length, depth, and spacing of the tracks point towards something large and upright. Skeptics point to possibilities such as overlapping prints, melting snow distortion, hoaxing, or even unusual strides from someone wearing modified footwear. So what do these tracks really represent? Misidentified prints in shifting snow, or evidence of something far larger moving through the Alaskan wilderness? This viral Bigfoot-related clip has been circulating online. The footage was recorded on October 5th, 2024 by a man named Edward from Georgia. Edward is known for posting straightforward outdoor content, hunting, fishing, and general outdoor videos.
He's not known for paranormal theories or cryptid videos, which is one reason this clip caught so much attention. In the video, Edward is driving when he notices two large helicopters flying over a remote area. Suspended between them appears to be something massive dangling below.
They got Bigfoot. Found him down here in Georgia. Got him, dragging him with that helicopter. Wonder where they're taking him.
The footage is shaky since he's filming from inside his vehicle, but even when zoomed in, viewers say you can clearly see a large, dark object being transported. The size appears significant, large enough to require two helicopters to lift it. That's where speculation begins. Some online commenters believe the object could be a captured Bigfoot being airlifted out of the area. Some argue the scale and secrecy implied by the scene suggests something unusual. However, there are other explanations. Military helicopters often transport large equipment, vehicles, or damaged aircraft components. It's not uncommon for heavy loads to require dual lift operations in some scenarios. What intensifies the speculation is that after posting the video, Edward reportedly stopped posting content on his channel. For someone who normally posts consistently, that silence sparked rumors. Without additional verified information, the clip remains ambiguous. It could show a routine military transport or something more unusual, but there's no confirmed evidence linking it to Bigfoot or any kind of government operation. As always, I'll leave this one up to you.
Here's a look at what many people consider one of the most clearest and closest Bigfoot footage ever recorded. A well-known explorer and cryptid researcher was filming in a wooded area long believed to be a Bigfoot hotspot. He'd been scanning the area for a while, moving slowly through the dense trees and vegetation, when something partially concealed in the brush caught his attention. At first, his camera struggles to focus. The image blurs in and out as he tries to steady his shot. Then, the focus locks in, and the face becomes visible. What appears on screen looks strangely gorilla-like and human at the same time. The footage is unusually clear. You can see defined features, a pronounced forehead, visible features, textured skin, blinking eyes, and a broad nose. The detail is sharp enough to distinguish facial features from a silhouette. Supporters argue that it cannot be a gorilla. They point out that a gorilla typically has fur that starts much lower on his forehead, whereas the figure appears to have a higher, more exposed brow. They also claim there's something distinctly human about its eyes, the way they move and blink. The researcher insists the footage is authentic and maintains that whatever he captured is not a known animal or a person in a costume. He believes it was genuine evidence of Bigfoot. Skeptics, of course, question the lighting and the possibility of elaborate suits or misidentification. With footage this clear, the debate becomes even more intense. So what do you think this camera really captured?